Welcome back to M. Hood Discovered. It's a Sunday afternoon in the house. It's actually been raining most of the day. I slept in because I was up late working. When I got up, I did some editing. When the boomers stopped, finally got the red bone out with the little one. And now me and the red bone are just chilling with the windows open because it's cool outside. Might get a little more rain. I got things to do. I really would like to just run out, shoot a fishing video, and forget about the things I gotta do. Why? I need clean clothes. I need food in my belly. I need healthy things. So, let me do some things, and then I'm gonna show you something. It's been a very appropriate afternoon for lo-fi hip-hop. Through a bedroom door, though. Just hear the bass. A little bit of jazz added in there. You know, there's a lot of houses around here where the windows haven't been opened in ever. And some, they haven't been opened never, right? Never opened the windows. And then we get into hurricane season, and we get storms that knock our power out, and these people start to freak out because it gets hot. Everything starts to melt. The woman, the kid, the dog, the cat, the upholstery, everything, right? So, what do? They run and they buy a whole bunch of gasoline, like maybe before the storm or even after it sometimes. Some people just don't prepare very well. They get their generator and they plug in the window unit and they start to cool off one room with the window unit, but the rest of the house is an inferno, right? They never think to open the windows. Some people do. It's not everybody who just doesn't know how to open a window. I'm sure they know how to open a window, but some people come across as if they don't know how to open a window. I just reorganized everything in this part of the house so I could reopen the windows during hurricane season rather than spending a ton of money on gasoline running a window unit. You just open the windows and spend a little bit of money on gasoline running a fan, maybe keeping the refrigerator going, rather than, you know, something that's totally a luxury. You got to learn how to do without luxuries to get through hurricane season. The refrigerator, you could look at that as a luxury, but it's a necessity. It keeps your food from growing legs and eyeballs and stuff, you know, and getting all squiggly and stinky. So it's important. And you just open the windows. I guess it's what I wanted to show you without sticking you out the window. But it is so chill in here this Sunday afternoon after a day of thunderstorms. It's very humid outside, very sticky, but our air temp is in the low 80s and it's going to go down into the upper 70s, right? It's going to be, for me, pretty chill, but for other people that aren't used to it, like say if you just shot down here from up north, yeah, you might not enjoy low 80s or high 70s with like dang near 100% humidity. But if you're already living down here, you might as well make the best of it. Might even go fishing later, but I'm just chilling at the moment. I got stuff to do in here, like I said, and I'm just going to continue. We're not done, but imagine if I had all these windows shut. Yeah, you wouldn't hear the traffic, but it would be hot in here. And you step outside to let the dog pee, and you're like, whoa, what a relief. Or you step into the bedroom where the AC is burning away, and that's a relief. But in here where I gotta do stuff, it shouldn't be the opposite of relief. It should be fair, right? Open a window. I know people who have 1,000 excuses for not opening windows. The window's screwed shut. Who screwed it shut? Oh, I did. Why'd you screw the window shut? To stop crackheads from breaking in. Have you ever had a crackhead break in? No? Doesn't your windows have locks? Yes. So why did you screw it shut when the locks work? Extra security. Yeah? Well, you know glass breaks, right? Huh? Yeah, I think you just did overkill on screwing it. Because the crackhead, if he really wants to get in there, he's going to say, screw it, and break the window, right? I don't know, people who, like, have stacked furniture, like big furniture up against the window, and when the power goes out and they don't have a generator to run the AC, they're too lazy to move the stuff away from the window. Things like that. Things of that nature. And they just sit there and cook. Or all of a sudden the neighbors realize they have a dog because they're sitting outside with the dog, and the neighbors never saw a dog. And the neighbors start to wonder, like, do they walk that dog? They never see them walk that dog. Does the dog just piss and shit inside? Yes, the dog just pisses and shits inside. You learn a lot about people when shit hits the fan during hurricane season. All right, let's keep cleaning the kitchen, and then I'm hungry. Yeah, there's always gonna be people that can afford the lap of luxury. You know, they already are set up. As soon as the power goes out, the generator just automatically kicks on. Some people have their generator hooked up to the gas, the natural gas. Some people just have it out in a box, and they can flip a switch, or it just comes on automatically, and they power their whole house, AC and everything, you know. And then they just run out and put more gas in there when it's needed, if it's not hooked up to something. Other people like myself are using all electric. I have power stations. If I need to recharge them and I don't have a source to recharge them, well, I can always just throw out my solar panel and slowly recharge it, right? Or either recharge my bigger one, or my little ones, and my little tiny ones. Yeah, you're right, there's all kinds of ways to do it, but we don't all have the benefit of tons and tons of money to have tons and tons of gas on hand, or like very expensive dependable generators, because some of your cheaper generators you can pick up used or brand new at the store might not last a whole season without some maintenance. They're gonna break, and you're gonna have to know how to fix it. Or find someone who does that's gonna do it reasonably, right? So these are things to think about when it's hurricane season. You got to ask yourself, do I know how to open a window? Sounds ridiculous, right? Because who doesn't know how to open a window? Trust me, quite a few people. Like back in the day, turn of the century, there were a lot of people in the UK that were so privileged. You know, they were the elites, the aristocrats. They grew up with servants. Everybody did something for them. They didn't do much for themselves. And then all of a sudden, they're in a different situation. They don't know how to open a window because they never had to open a window. Someone always did it for them. Things of that nature, right? I know people who are not aristocrats. They're not an elite. They didn't grow up ultra rich.
but they don't know how to do laundry, and they're in their late 40s. And they have 1,000 excuses about opening windows because they never open windows. It's the simplest things. Think about the simplest things. Can I open my windows? Can I be safe where I'm at with my windows open? Should I shut them and lock them when I leave the house? Think of those things, because you could save a lot of, don't leave the windows open when the hurricane's coming through, by the way. We're talking about when the power goes out and the threat of the storm is done and the house is heating up and you're starting to like melt into the carpet or into the floorboards, right? That's when you open the windows, because it could save a lot of money. And just like if you got some kind of power source to power a fan, have one fan blowing in and one blowing out, or just one blowing in, get that cross breeze going. I know it sounds ridiculous. People are like, what are you talking? You're just doing a rant about opening the windows. Trust me, it's well-meaning. I mean well, and there's plenty of people that need to hear it, because they just sit there and suffer when they could just simply open a window, but they're scheming about how to get a generator and how to get the gas when they could just open a window and not even think about anything nefarious, or like maxing out their credit card. Like at the last minute, they're like, where can I buy a generator? Well, why didn't you buy one before the storm rolled through, right? Think about these things, like what's in the way of the window? Yeah, think about safety, think about saving money, that sort of thing. And think about how dirty the counter is. Look at this. So let me continue. I think that's pretty much what I wanted to discuss. I get sick of like just sweating my ass off in here. It's hurricane season, it's a heat wave, it's the dog days of summer. Gotta be ready. Gotta be safe at the same time. You don't want to have your windows open if crackheads are just going to be coming in, or like something worse, right? You gotta stay safe. So if it's not safe to fall asleep with the windows open, that's one thing. If there's like stuff, if you live in a place where it's not too safe and you want to open the window just to give yourself some relief, don't have something that someone can just walk by and grab. Make sure the screen is sturdy, or maybe you need bars. Don't have your iPhone sitting right there where Frankie the crackhead can just walk by and snatch it. Think about things. You don't have to like scheme to get the most expensive stuff that you can't afford. You can just figure out something simple, is what I'm saying. Open a window, air that house out, because maybe it's been a while and it stinks, even though maybe you do your best, but some houses really stink because they haven't had fresh air. I've been in them. I'm sure most of you have nice houses and it's pretty clean, right? But yeah, some people don't. All right, let me get this done. I tell you what, this was a really nice talk. I think it was something that just needed to be said to some people out there. Maybe they're watching, maybe they're not. Don't invite me to your house, because the last time I walked into your house, the smell just about killed me, knocked me off my feet. Open a window and start walking your dog. I know it's not you guys. Someone else. And where I live right now, we keep running into a pit bull, and we've never seen it before. And the people we think own it don't have a backyard, and it just keeps getting out of the house and it's running around attacking our cats. And then there's other people around here, they don't have backyards, and you never see their dogs, but there's always barking dogs in their house, and their windows are never open. Where are those dogs peeing and shitting at, right? Oh, yeah, you're right. Dog stuff going on right now as I speak. Thanks for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, walking your dogs, opening your windows. and I will see you next time.